while you're in the military, you're learning all those great skills and you're putting that to practice every single day and you're always learning something new. And if you ultimately find that, you know what, you may have been all about the military initially, and then now maybe that changes later on into your life there, but bring that to the workforce outside of the military, and it's going to be invaluable at virtually any job that you want to do. And it's something that you're really not going to be able to compare.
Welcome to this special series of the EdUp Canada podcast, Sea of Opportunities. In these short episodes, we're exploring two big questions. What do careers actually look like in the Royal Canadian Navy? And how has the Navy set up these men and women who serve our nation for success after leaving their career in the Navy? And to get these answers, we're joined by the crew members of the HMCS St. John's Halifax, who are going to talk about their own experiences and their own careers. And we're also going to talk to the men and women who serve these boats on shore to ensure they have all the support they need as they travel the world. It's like being on the ship while you're in your home. So without further delay, we bring you this special episode of the EdUp Canada podcast, Sea of Opportunities. Welcome back to the Sea of Opportunities podcast. I'm joined today by Jordan Monroe, Lieutenant Jordan Monroe, who's been helping us put together this series of podcasts. And we said, we want you on board too. We want to hear your voice because your role is crucial on board the ship as you sail across to Europe for the mission that you're starting. But as operations officer, you've got a lot of things to do. We were just getting set up to interview you, and you were dealing with managing the ship while we were doing this. So, Jordan, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell people how long you've been in the Navy. And I think the most important thing is, why are you in the Navy?
Absolutely. Like you said, my name is Lieutenant Monroe. I've been in 16 years. I'm the operations officer on board St. John's. Specifically, I'm a Naval Warfare Officer, so a key sea trade for planning and driving the ship at sea on St. John's. I would say that, the reason that I joined the military, it was something that was in the family. My father was in the military as well. He was also an officer. He was a Marine Systems Engineer. So I was familiar with the military. I'd done a few moves with my family when I was younger, so it wasn't anything that was new to me. And it was something that really kind of drew me to the trade, to the field. It was something that I really wanted to do. There was a lot of opportunities, things like the opportunities for getting school paid for, which ultimately I ended up doing. So that was a huge benefit. Job security, so that I knew as soon as I got out of university, I had that career immediately getting into out of university. So it was just something that seemed easy, but it was opportunistic, and I really enjoyed that opportunity.
And you've got continuing training opportunities while you're in the Navy too. While you've got time, you can retrain, you can go off and take courses, can't you?
Absolutely. I've done a few of those myself, yeah.
Part of the great opportunity, that's part of what we're talking about here, is that the students that come out of our colleges, they can go right into the Navy and get to work. We're getting more college students putting their hand up going, we'd like to hear more about that, working with your team on shore to figure out how to get in front of more of these students to say, these are the kinds of careers and opportunities. So you're on a 6-month deployment here, it looks like, till about December.
Yes, we'll be back right before the holidays there in December.
Well, it's nice to get back. This is tough on family life, though, isn't it? You've 16 years you've been doing this. How many deployments?
Officially, this will be my fourth deployment overseas. And then just recently, we've started considering the exercises that the Navy participates in overseas as they're being considered deployments now. So that kind of adds a few more. They're a little bit shorter, about 1 to 2 months. But still being considered deployment. So done probably, if you count those as well, we're up to 7 or 8.
So you know how many days on water though, right?
Yeah, I just hit 702 days on water right now.
So that's 700. Is that one of the thresholds?
So at 735, so every milestone, like you say, 180 days, you get a memento that you wear on your uniform. So 180 days, half a year at sea. And then once you hit 2 full years, which I'll be heading on this trip, you get another little memento. So kind of as that ability to identify, what kind of time at sea you have, and more importantly, time away from family.
That is a lot of time. It's tough at home, tough for the people that are left back at home, because there's stress to that too, though, isn't there?
There is, yeah. So when you leave family, there's all that time, all the things that are happening at home. You can't really be there, obviously. So we have a lot of things in place now. We've got Wi-Fi on board. We've got all that connectivity that we can reach back. So we're able to provide that support a little bit better than I think we used to a couple of years ago. So it's getting a lot easier, and we're trying to be attentive to that. And I think we're doing a good job. but still it's a little bit difficult for families being away for so long.
Yeah, there's never this. You can't do everything when somebody going away for 6 months. There's going to be stress back at home. But as we've been talking to with some of the other sailors, here we are. You're literally halfway between North America and Europe, and we're doing a podcast where we can see each other over a Wi-Fi connection on the boat from a satellite connection. It's pretty incredible.
It's really new to the Navy. It's something that, even 2, 3 years ago, it was something that didn't have available to us, and everyone's able to take advantage of it now. And you're seeing it all throughout the ship. Every chance folks are getting, they're having that communication back home. It is revolutionary for life at sea, and it's fantastic for us.
Tell me what a day looks like for you. We've talked to a lot of people about the opportunity to travel and see the world and those kinds of things while working. But what's an average day look like while you're on a deployment?
So a day for me, I think it really changes as you're going through the ranks, as you're developing your career. I would say, when you first get in the Navy, when you're first on ship, it's a balance between your job that you're doing when you're at sea, so what you're trained to do and what you're supposed to be doing. Then there's also going to be a training package, and so you're balancing both of those. And when you're first getting on board, you got that balance between, okay, you're on watch, you're working on a training package, you're doing your job. Then you got significant amount of time where you're off watch. You got your time to go to sleep and then, play a few games if that's something that we're into, talk with your family like we just talked about. As you get more trained, your jobs get harder. I think we kind of expect that in any trade, in any job that you're doing. As you get more experience, it's going to get more challenging. You're going to get more responsibilities. So for the Naval Warfare Officers, it happens quick for us, as a lot of key trades as well. It does for us at my point for the operations room officers and for the operations officers specific. I'm always on watch. So I'm getting up around, 6 o'clock in the morning on a good day. And then my job basically starts right there where I'm liaising with the operations team. I'm going to all the different departments, finding out what's the latest information from their perspective. At some point in that first couple hours, I'm checking my emails to make sure anything that's coming in from either our shore staff, and when I say shore staff, we've got staff at Halifax that are supporting us back home. We've also got our operational staff. We got our task group staff. There's a lot of people that I'm reaching out to and trying to pull that information. And then it's right into working on a bunch of different planning efforts from the next 24 hours, what the ship is actually going to be doing right now. And then I'm looking at the next 48 hours. What do we got going on tomorrow? What's going on the next 72 hours? And then at some point in there, I'm pushing out the next, week or so, because we've got some big efforts that in terms of training that we're going to be doing with other nations. There's port visits that we've got in between there. I'll highlight, I'm not doing this all by myself. We got a whole team that we're working with, that we all got a little bit of a piece to play there. Yeah, so I'm trying to piece all that together. And then at some point in there, I'm trying to grab food where I can.
You're juggling a lot of stuff. I think that's
Exactly.
one of the things I'm trying to get across to people in these interviews is that there's just a world of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
We're calling it sea of opportunities here, but there's just so much room to go do things and try things, project management, logistics, the warfare officer stuff you're doing, the operations, the leadership, the HR. It's a real opportunity to mold someone into a fantastic leader.
Yeah, and you really find that you could be trained to the absolute best capability in your trade, but as soon as you get to ship, as soon as you get on a operation, you're dealing with things you've never seen before, so you're constantly asking questions. You're dealing with things that you never thought you'd be dealing with, and you're constantly learning. And one point that I think that's kind of key there is that when you're in the military, when I first joined the military right out of high school, I moved that summer to a different part of the country and immediately went into university away from my family. And it really forces you to grow up really quickly, and compared to some of your either family members or some of your friends from high school. So you learn to grow up real quick in that kind of environment.
No, I completely agree. So before we leave today, we want you to deliver a little message to some friends and family back home. But what message do you have somebody, either just a Canadian in general or somebody who's thinking about joining the Navy? What are the benefits? What are the opportunities? I like to highlight the fact that the employers that we deal with in our career colleges are lined up ready to hire vets because of the experiences, everything you just talked about. Why would you not want to hire somebody that can multitask 5 things like that? Look to tomorrow, look a week ahead. That's the kind of people that employers want when you leave the Navy. But What are you thinking about when you have a message for someone about why join the Navy?
So I always like to say that from my perspective, the greatest opportunity is that you're learning things that you're really not familiar with. So you're getting that experience and you're getting a quick turnaround and you're learning fast, you're learning quick, and you're learning a lot of detailed information. And that's a skill that you build over time. And it's a skill that a lot of different job types might not have. So while you're in the military, you're learning all those great skills and you're putting that to practice every single day. And you're always learning something new. And if you ultimately find that, you know what, you may have been all about the military initially, and then now maybe that changes later on into your life there, but bring that to the workforce outside of the military, and it's going to be invaluable at virtually any job that you want to do. And it's something that you're really not going to be able to compare.
Anybody want to say hello to back home while you got an opportunity?
Yeah, well, I got my whole family's back home. I know they're watching closely, so I talk to them every day when I try. But yeah, it's nice to say hi to them and love them, and can't wait to see them when I get back in December.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate your service. If I can say, I can't really speak on behalf of Canadians, I've said, but I can speak on behalf of myself. Thank you for your service to our country, and fair winds and following seas to you and the crew of the whole ship. Hoping to see you all back safe and sound in December at the Halifax Harbor. We'll be waiting for you. And thanks for your service to the world and the nation. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to this special episode of the EdUp Canada podcast, Sea of Opportunities. If you like this episode, I hope you leave a review for us as it helps more people to discover the show. If you're interested in a career in the Navy, you can click on the link in the show notes to learn all about the Naval Experience Program. Thanks for learning with us.